In today's video, I'm going to teach you 10 super common and supernatural phrasal verbs that you definitely need to know. Stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Lloyd's Everyday English here on YouTube. If this is your first time here, maybe hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any more videos on this channel. I help to take your English to the next level by teaching you everyday expressions, everyday ways that native English speakers actually speak in English. And on that topic, today I've made a list of 10 very common phrasal verbs that you need to know, need in capital letters. Now, I'm thinking that this is going to be probably like part one or of a several part series. So if you do enjoy this type of lesson, please let me know in the comments. But I have done several phrasal verb videos in the past. So if you click here, then there will be a playlist of phrasal verb videos that you can check out. But why don't we get into it? Now, the reason that I wanted to do some of these, go over and review some of these phrasal verbs is that in our private community for the last few weeks, we have been doing some phrasal verb challenges. And you are very welcome to join us in our private community. You can click here to find out more. And so I've been setting these weekly challenges, and the last few weeks has been with phrasal verbs. So the last few weeks have been with phrasal verbs. And the first one today is one that we looked at. And that is this one here, bring up. Now, as we go along today, I thought I could try and make some kind of story along the way, maybe. Let's see if it works. But bring up. Now, this phrasal verb is very, very commonly used, and it has, as is the case with several phrasal verbs, this one has several meanings. So, one meaning that comes to mind, which is not a very nice one, is right? If you throw up, that means you bring up your food. Now, you have to say bring up food. Like, for example, you bring up your dinner, your lunch. Actually, I'm a little bit sick at the moment, but luckily, I have not brought up any food. Now, that is not the one I wanted to focus on today. Although another meaning of bring up is actually when you are raised from a young age, a baby basically, until an adult. You are brought up. Most commonly used in the passive form. So to be brought up well, to be brought up to respect your elders, or respect women, or respect everybody, or you were brought up in a loving household. It's most commonly used in the passive form. Again, that's not the main one. It's good to know, of course, very good to know. But the one I wanted to focus on here, as I try to create a story, is to bring up something in a conversation. So this basically means to mention something in a conversation, to introduce a new topic into the conversation. So, for example, I decided to bring up the topic of phrasal verbs today. I was thinking, what topic should I bring up in this week? What topic? I tried to keep things varied and different and interesting. What topic should I bring up? And, maybe, there's many different examples of this. And I would love to, of course, see your examples in the comments below. And I'll be happy to give you some feedback. But it's often used in the negative form as well. I don't want to bring up the past. Let's not talk about the past. Or maybe people are hesitant to bring up politics, right, in a conversation. A few years ago in England, it was very dangerous, and I guess it still is actually, dangerous to bring up the topic of Brexit in a conversation. Or maybe with Americans, bringing up the topic of Trump. So basically to introduce something into the conversation. Now, why don't we think of a little story here? So let's say you and your friend are having a chat, and then one of you brings up the fact that you haven't spoken to or seen one of your friends for a long time. And then you might think, yeah, that's right. We have not seen this person. Let's call this person Mary. I don't know, Mary is often the first one that comes to mind. And then you might decide, we should check in on Mary. This is another one that we had in our recent challenge this week. So if our members are watching right now, make sure you check out our private challenges group. This week is the check challenge. I gave you many phrasal verbs with check, so check it out, right? But this is a very common one that you can use. Check in on. Now, what does this mean? So to check in on someone, don't forget on. So it's one of those phrasal verbs that has two prepositions. So to check in on someone, this basically means, and it could be something as well. You check someone that you haven't spoken to for a while. You just want to see how they are doing. Now, this depends on the context, but maybe you have not seen this person for several months. Maybe you haven't spoken to them for a few hours, and you just want to check that everything is going okay. Check in on someone. Now, this has kind of the idea of concern, of wondering if the other person is okay. So, especially, one of the reasons I chose this one is because these days, with the pandemic and lockdowns and everything that's going on with that, what I've noticed and what I've done myself and other people have done with me is people have become more concerned about each other, and people are checking in on each other a little bit more. At least that's what I've noticed. At least that was the case at the beginning of the pandemic. Let me know if that happened with you as well. So let's say you send a message to somebody that you haven't spoken to for a while. Again, let's keep it with Mary here. So you brought up the fact that you haven't spoken to Mary for a while. Why don't we check in on her? Let's see how she's doing. So you send Mary a message, or you give her a call, and you check in on her. Hey, how's everything going? It's been a while. You doing good? You doing well? Another example could be, okay, Amy or Mary, whoever this person is. I should check in on Amy. It's been a while. Now, you don't only have to check in on people. You can also check in on a team of people. I just wanted to check in on you guys and see how your progress has been going. Maybe the manager or the boss could say this. Or you want to check in on the progress of a report, right? You want to check in on how things are going. So it doesn't only have to be a person, but most commonly it is. All right. Now, let's keep this story going, right? So, Mary, I think her name was. Mary, you hadn't seen her for a while, so you wanted to check in on her. And when you contact her, when you check in on Mary, you might say, we have put off talking to each other. We have put off meeting each other for quite a while. Now, what does this mean? Put off. It's a really common phrasal verb, and it means to basically delay something. I'll do it later, tomorrow or next week, I'm sure we are all guilty of this in some ways. Often it's linked to procrastination. So, you put off things. For example, I could say, or somebody could say to you, hey, don't put things off until the last minute. And I have to admit, I'm kind of guilty of this. I have to admit that. But this is actually a separable phrasal verb. So you could put things off or put off things. Both of those would sound okay. Let me know if you put things off until the last minute. It's not good. It's not good to do that. But in this story with Mary, we could say, when you check in on Mary, I'm sorry, we haven't seen each other for a long time. We've been putting off meeting, and we should do it. We really need to catch up. We really need to catch up. Now, what does this mean? To catch up with someone. Don't forget the with if you use a person. You can just, an object, you can just say, we need to catch up. Right? We need to catch up. But if you're talking about the person you need to catch up with, make sure you use that preposition. Like get together with someone, catch up with someone, hang out with someone. So catch up, basically, you might know this one already, but just to summarize, to review, to catch up with somebody means you haven't talked to them for a long time, right? And you want to find out what's been going on in their life. What have you been up to? What's happening in your life? We haven't spoken. So this is when you have not spoken to somebody for quite a long time. Perhaps several months or even several years. I have a few friends who I'm planning to meet. We'll get another phrasal verb in a moment connected to that. A few friends who I have not seen from university who are here in Cape Town, who I would like to catch up with because it's been maybe 10 years or so since I've seen them. So you can say, oh, okay. There was supposed to be another sentence there with catch up. Let's see if we can get that one in here. Just give me a moment. Dun, 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 dun. All right. It's been a while, Amy. I don't know why she keeps changing her name. I thought it was Mary. It's been a while, Amy, or Mary, whatever her name is. We should catch up, right? We should go for a coffee. We should go for a drink. We should catch up. Catch up. Just be careful with the pronunciation, by the way, because if you say it the wrong way, it could sound like ketchup, right? Tomato sauce, ketchup. So we should catch up. Could sound a little bit strange. So catch up. Catch up. We should catch up. And, when you're talking and you're making plans, and you say, we should catch up. Another way you can say this is, we should meet up. We should meet up. And again, this is really common. I mean, all the phrasal verbs I'm talking about today are really common. But, you could just say, we should meet. You could also say, we should get together. But we should meet up. We should meet up is a really commonly used phrasal verb. You can also use this as a noun. If you put them together as one word, have a meetup. And after, at some point after the world calms down again, I would love to have a big or several big meetups with all of our members in our community, subscribers, everything. That is one of my goals. We've had a few meetups already before the world went crazy. We've had a few small meetups in London and in Minsk in Belarus, and I have met up with several of our members, and it's been wonderful every time, of course. And I would love to do that again. Have a meetup or meet up with someone, right? So, Mary, Amy, whatever her name is, your friend. It's been such a long time you've forgotten this friend's name. But anyway, you want to catch up. You want to meet up. And then you might ask, you might say, when are you free to meet up? When are you free to meet up? When is good for you? When are you free to meet up? When are you free to get together is another way to say it. Now, let's move along. And the next phrasal verb I wanted to introduce is this one. Get along. Get along with someone. Now, if you get along with someone, that means you and this other person have a really, you always have a good time with each other. You are a really good match. You always have fun together. You always laugh. You don't fight with each other. So you could say, for example, brothers and sisters, when they're younger, don't always get along. Or if they do get along, it's much more peaceful. Okay? Get along. Hopefully you get along with your co-workers, with people around you, with your family. And let me ask you this question as well, and I would love to hear your answer. Do you get along with your family members? Do you and your family members get along? So this is a great way to, in one phrasal verb, explain that you have a good relationship or a bad relationship. Now, the opposite would be, we don't get along. We don't get along. You can say, we don't get along very well, or we don't get along. And that's a very short, quick way to explain this very sad reality. But hopefully that's not the case for you. Hopefully not. Okay. So, one of the reasons that you want to see Mary or Amy is because you get along so well. And you're thinking, hey, haven't seen her for a long time. We used to get along so well. We need to meet up. We need to catch up. We need to, we shouldn't have put off getting together, meeting up for so long. Now, when you do arrange a meeting, there's always a chance that the person will not turn up. Goodness me. Now, turn up is one of those phrasal verbs that has several different meanings. I'll quickly review some of them. So obviously, probably the most obvious, simple one is to turn up the volume, right? Maybe turn up the volume on your phone, on your broken microphone, right? Turn up the music. Hey, make that louder, please. I can't hear it. Turn it up. I want to hear the news, or I want to hear that song. Another meaning of turn up is when you were looking for something, and then finally you find it. It turns up. So you're like, where is my phone? Oh, there it is. It turned up. Or, if you're looking for something, somebody could say, where's my teddy bear? Don't worry. I'm sure it's going to turn up. We'll keep looking. We'll find it eventually. Okay, so that's another meaning of turn up. But the one I wanted to focus on, I think the most commonly used form of turn up is when somebody comes to a meeting or not, right? So you have a meetup arranged, and then somebody, or a meeting or a class or some appointment, and somebody either comes to that appointment or they don't. So they turn up. Actually, another way you can say is show up, is another way to say. Actually, let me just write that down, because that's actually another one you can use. It just came to mind now. So show up or turn up. Now, so let's say we have arranged this meeting with Mary, and she didn't turn up. What happened? Why didn't Mary turn up? We arranged the get together, the meet up. Maybe there was something you forgot. Maybe Mary was angry with you because you had not checked in on her for a long time. And that fact brought up bad memories for her. Do you think she's going to turn up? You might be waiting. Do you think she's going to turn up? Shall we go? Shall we give her some more time? Shall we wait? Shall we check in on her? Shall we send her a message? Now, if we change the preposition here, turn down, this actually has a very different meaning. Turn up, turn down. Obviously, it could just mean basically turn up the volume, increase the volume. Turn down the volume, turn up the volume. But also, the most commonly used form of this one, in my opinion, is to reject somebody, to reject somebody's invitation. Most commonly used in the world of dating, I would say. So let's say a man asks out a woman, "Hey, how you doing? We should go out sometime. We should get a coffee." No, I don't think so. I'm not interested. You're not my type. But how could you turn me down? All right, so to turn somebody down, to reject somebody. But also you could turn down a job offer. You could turn down an invitation, right? Maybe Mary sent you a message when you're waiting for her to turn up, and she says, "I'm sorry, I don't want to meet. I don't think I'm going to make it." She turned down the invitation. Okay, so reject. I mean, you could say just reject, right? Reject somebody's offer, but this is a more kind of casual, natural, everyday way to say it, to turn down. So you could accept, you could agree, or you could turn down somebody's invitation. For example, she's very picky and usually turns down guys who ask her out. Okay? So this girl, this imaginary girl, has many guys asking her out, throwing themselves at her, and she often turns them down. She turns them down. Now, if you are turned down by somebody, you could be very upset. And it might take a while to get over this rejection. Okay? Now, there's two main ways you can say this. You can say get over or get past. Now, this is when something bad happens in your life. Maybe you are turned down, you're rejected, you have a bad experience that really affects you. People should probably check in on you, check you're okay. But it takes a while to get over it, okay? But you can also say get past it. Kind of makes sense, right? Imagine that your trouble is kind of here and you need to get over it or get past it. You know, as they say, time will heal these things, right? You will get over it. So, for example, somebody could say, "I know it's tough now, but you'll get past it, I promise." Or I could say, "You'll get over it, I promise." Also, you could say it in kind of a rude way. "Get over it. I said I was sorry. Get over it." Now, obviously, this is not somebody you probably want to meet up with. Probably not someone you get along with. But that's a story for another day. Now, let's look at one last phrasal verb that I wrote down for this list. And that is hopefully not something you're doing while watching this video. But pass out. Pass out. Okay, so this is the reason I wanted to mention this one is because I have seen some people get this one a bit confused, and it can be really awkward if you use the wrong one in this case. So what does this mean? To pass out. Oh, sorry, what? Yeah, so to pass out means to suddenly, I can't click very well, to suddenly fall asleep. Suddenly fall asleep. So there's a few situations when this could happen. If you are really, really, really tired, it's been a long day, a long week, a long year, and your head hits the pillow and you fall asleep, immediately you pass out. You could also pass out maybe if you are very weak, very sick, or maybe if you are scared of needles or blood and you see this and you pass out, right? Or maybe if you have an injury, an accident, you have concussion and you pass out. So the other one that people might get confused with this one, and probably not you, but just to review, pass away. Okay, now pass away, it means to die, but pass away is a more kind of indirect, polite way and commonly used way to say that somebody dies. If you say this person died, it's very kind of direct. I mean, it's kind of especially if you're talking about someone that you know or that someone else knows, it's kind of pass away. I mean, it's the same thing, of course, but it just softens it a little bit, pass away. But you want to be careful because you don't want to say, well, last night I was so tired that I passed away. That would not be good. That would mean you were very, very, very tired. So pass out. Maybe you could say, oh, I pass out at the sight of blood. And let me know. Is there anything, when do you pass out? Is there anything that causes you to pass out? All right, now, before we finish, I have a little quiz for you here. Little quiz to review. So, get ready, and let's review quickly before we finish here. 3 questions. The first one. I should have got some kind of tick-tock sound. Tick-tock. All right. I haven't seen Simon for a while. I'm going to give him a call and check him. Check him. What is the missing word or words here? Probably quite an easy one, but as they say, repetition is the mother of skill. I should check. The answer is check in on him. I should check in on him. I haven't seen him for a while. Where is he? Or maybe, yeah, if you are a mother, maybe you have a child and they're being suspiciously quiet in their room, I should check in on them. What have they been up to? Doing something naughty? No. All right. Second question to review is, oh, this is a sad one. This is a very sad one. I planned a big birthday party, but only my mother turned. Only my mother turned. What did she turn? Did she turn around and leave? And then you were on your own? Hopefully not. So the answer is turned up. Okay, remember when somebody turns up, show up, that means they attend. They appear. They attend this event, this appointment. I planned a big birthday party, but only my mother turned up. And the last question. I'm totally exhausted. I think I'm gonna pretty soon. I think I'm gonna something pretty soon. And as I'm making this, it's a Friday evening, so maybe this is true for some people watching this. I'm totally exhausted. I think I'm gonna pass out pretty soon. Okay, pass out pretty soon. And that is about it. So 10 really common phrasal verbs that you definitely need to know. So let's review them one more time. Bring up, to mention something in the conversation, to introduce a topic. Check in on someone, to check that how somebody is doing after a while. Put off, is a very casual way to say delay something. Delay sounds a bit more formal. Basically, delay something, do it later, kind of has that feeling of procrastinating, being lazy. Catch up with someone. You could also catch up on something. Like if you haven't, maybe there's a TV show you haven't watched for a while, you need to catch up. But the one I was talking about here was when you meet somebody. You haven't talked to them for a while. Hey, how's everything going? We should meet up and catch up. Meet up is a very nice phrasal verb. It means meet, but it's a get together. Very good phrasal verb to use. Get along with somebody, have a good friendly relationship, and hopefully they will turn up or show up. That means they will appear. Hopefully they will not turn down, reject your invitation. If they do, it might take a while to get over or get past the rejection, and then you might pass out from the tears. Fall asleep. Suddenly fall asleep, I should say. But that's about it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this was useful. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy these types of phrasal verb reviews. If you would like to practice using some of these phrasal verbs, we have phrasal verb challenges in our private community. And one of the different areas in our private community, we have challenges. If you'd like more information, click on the link in the description below, EnglishTVLive.com, for lots of English practice and feedback. But until next time, everybody, hope we can all meet up soon. Hope I can catch up with you in the comments. And please don't turn down my request to like this video and subscribe if you have not already. And I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.